Right, so let's get started on designing the basically creating our project and designing the look, the UI. So once again, we want it to look like this, pretty much. So I have some. This is from our previous tutorial of making the unit converter from what is it? From centimeters to inches. I'm gonna close that. Right click, close the project. This helps speed up Eclipse a bit if you don't have a lot of open projects in the side. So we're gonna go File, New Android Application Project. If you don't have, if you've installed everything correctly according to my previous instructions, just look at the previous videos if you don't know what this is or what's going on right now. So if you don't have this Android application project right here, you might have to go into other, then Android application project. Now go next, give it a name. So Chaching, the name of app. It automatically fills that one in for us. That's fine. So this once again has to be globally unique, so you can use like your first name dot last name dot the name of the app, or if you have a domain name, you can use that in a sort of reverse DNS thing. So because I think they like to use this because they know no one else is going to use your domain. So com.mwasi.chaching for me it's fine. Here in support, what I think I want to do here is first of all, in the target put the latest one, so 4.3, and in the minimum I think I want to put gingerbread 2.3.3. I believe that's what the action bar Sherlock library supports, and also that's where the majority of the users are. So if you Google the market share of different Android versions, you'll see that the majority are on 2.3 and above. So I think that's fine. So we don't have to bother ourselves with the older versions of Android. I'll leave that at the whole light and dark action bar. That's fine. Next, uh, next, give it an icon. So let's go into text here. Of course, if this is an actual app we're going to publish, it's important that you spend some time designing or getting someone else probably to design an icon, because that icon is very important in the store. That's the first thing people are going to see, and then they're going to judge your app by that icon. So I would spend some time on that if this was a real app. Right, that's about right. Next, create an activity, so you can do all type of fancy stuff here. Just gonna go with a blank activity. Navigation type, I'm gonna leave that at none. We have a one activity app anyway. The other thing is just like an information. Finish. So this is our app. This is our initial layout. If we go to the graphical layout, let that load up. Right, so first thing I want to do is click that, delete, get rid of it, look at how we want our app to be. So get a USD and a text field there. So want to label, I think medium text will do. And then I want a text field. So this should be a numbers field because I'm only interested in the user entering the dollar amount. So number decimal. Like that. So click that. You can, if you double click it, you go straight to the XML code. This might make it a bit easier for you to edit this out. Gonna hard code that in there. Not, they frown on this, that's why they put the little exclamation mark there, but it's fine. Not best practice, I guess is what I'm saying. Right, and then we have a. Okay, so already I can see. Maybe I want to center this. I think I want to center. I'll just bring it to the center, and this one to the center. So let's see. Your design is going to evolve as you go along here. So let's see, large text maybe. Put it in the center here. Oh, what that large text? Control Z to undo. How is this text large? Hmm. All right. I'm clearly selecting large, but it's coming out small. So let's try double click that. It doesn't do anything at all. Okay, here we go. There we go. That's large. Okay. Double click that. Uh, GBP. So Great British Pound is gonna come right there, and the euro is gonna come right there. Not the best layout, but we're programmers, not designers, so people forgive us, I think. Then we need the button to do the actual conversion. Button, put it in the center also. This design tool has gotten a lot better nowadays. Now you can almost just use it uh, directly. Back in the day, you always had to go into XML to actually make it appear correct in the layout. So, by the way, you can also change these in here, change these values to the right here. I'm just not used to doing this, so to wait. Right, so that's right there. Hey, wow, we're almost done. So let me launch the emulator. Once again, I've gone over this, creating these in the previous tutorial. So if you don't know what's happening here, I'm gonna launch this Nexus One thing. Start scale just to make it fit on my screen here. Wipe user data. I find that sort of helps it some with the launching errors you get a lot of the time. There's a hacks failure, but that's not a catastrophic failure. That's basically hacks is an Intel technology that sort of speeds up virtualization, and sometimes doesn't work. It doesn't quite start, but the emulator will still work, but be a little slower. So let that launch. Now what we want to do is implement action bar shell. Okay, what action bar shell is it handles this creation of this action bar up here. This is what's called the action bar in Android. Because right now you see an action bar here, but if you were to go on a, let's see if I can try this because it only appears because we are on this preview is basically on Android 4.3. But if we go to the preview of Android 2.33, wait for that to load. Everything takes time to load here. What action bar Sherlock does, it makes this action bar thing work across different. So you see, if we preview it on Android 2.33, the action bar is gone now. So it sort of ruins the look of our app. So what action bar Sherlock does, it's a library, probably one of the most popular Android library. What it does, it implements the action bar across different versions of Android. So you need to go to actionbarsherlock.com, download the zip here, and save it somewhere on your computer. So I've saved it. Oops, sorry. Right, so you have downloaded the Action Bar Sherlock library. It's a zip file. Just right click that, extract all, sure, agree to whatever it's saying here. Needed to show extracted files. Let that finish. Right, so let's get that folder and another folder inside of it, and the library is this first folder right here, action bar shell. So what we want to do is import this into our Eclipse environment right here. So you can go File, Import, or right click here, Import, and then you want to choose under Android, existing Android code into Workspace. Whenever you're importing into Eclipse, mostly it's going to be two things: existing project into Workspace or existing Android code into Workspace. So these don't work interchangeably. So it depends on how the other person has created that particular project. So this is an Android thing. You want to navigate to where we've saved it. So for me, I saved it on the desktop. You want to actually select the action bar Sherlock folder inside there. Select that to pick it up. I want to tick copy it into workspace. So basically it won't work with the files directly from the desktop where I've saved them. It will copy them into my workspace. Finish. So we have action bar Sherlock right there. So you see there's still some building going on. Let that finish just to make sure everything is correct. Right, so that's finished importing. Now if you right click on action bar Sherlock, go to properties, you'll see that this is a library project. So that will enable us to import this project into our Cha-Ching project, and also see that it has Android 4.0 selected. So Mr. Jake Walton is building Action by Sherlock for version 4 of Android. So I would make sure I have this version installed on my computer. So go to the SDK manager and make sure you have downloaded the version 4 of Android SDK. Right, so what we need to do here is right click on our project, Cha-Ching, go to properties, Android, and then here add the library. So select that one, add it, and OK, and this immediately produces this error here. So what's happening basically is when you create an Android project, it automatically adds this Android support libraries jar to your project. So this enables some backward compatibility with new features of Android, can work on older versions of Android. But Action by Sherlock also comes with the same library, but there are slightly different versions. So basically, because this was created earlier than this one, we have the latest version, but Sherlock does not have the latest version probably. So what we need to do is go to our project first, go to libs, right click that, delete, yes, and then go to Sherlock libs, right click that, delete, show on to delete, yes. So now nobody has the support library, and obviously Sherlock is using the support library, that's why you start seeing errors. So what we need to do is add it back, and we will add the latest version. So you right click, Android tools, add support library, and this will actually go out over the internet and download the latest version of the support libraries. So we're only going to add it to Action by Sherlock. Downloading. It's take a while if you have a crappy internet like me. Through the magic of video editing, we're back immediately. So it will build once again. You see the errors are gone in Action by Sherlock, and we don't need to add it here because we are already using Action by Sherlock, so it will include the support library anyway. We don't need to add it down here. Right, so we have included it, but we are still not using Action by Sherlock. So let's do that now. So we go to our activity code here, source code, the main activity. What we want to do is remove this activity, and instead of extending activity, we want to extend action bar. We want to extend Sherlock activity. Select the first one there. Now So obviously this no longer exists because now we're not using the activity anymore. So this is not an appropriate method to have. Action bar shell provides its own methods if you want to implement a menu, and we'll do that later when we actually wire everything together. So right now I just want to set it up so it's sort of working. Right, so now we are using the Sherlock activity, but we need to do one more thing. We need to go to our manifest. Right, so we've done that. Now we are extending Sherlock activity. Now this still will not work. What we need to do is set the theme for our activity. So it has to be a Sherlock theme. So what we do is go to the manifest and go find our activity. So this is the main activity right here. And right under that first activity tag inside, we wanna do this. So I've copy pasted that, but I never remember the correct way to type this. So Android theme at style slash theme dot Sherlock, and there are a bunch of themes you can use for Sherlock. So there's a Sherlock the default. There's a light. There's a light with a dark action bar. So it depends on the look you want for your app. I'm just gonna use this one. You can experiment if you want with a different look. So that should be about it. We have a theme. We have extended Sherlock activity. Let's try and launch. Let's see if our emulator is running. Right. Let's launch our app. Cha-ching. Right click that. Run as Android application. That will do its thing. I like to watch the shell here, the console. Android. See what's happening. Error in XML. Aborting build. Is that right now? Okay. So this is. I think this is an old error. So forget that. So it's uploading to the emulator. There we go. Chashing. Now it doesn't do anything yet. There's no function, but that's for a later tutorial, like I said. And so this action bar should also work on Android 2.333. As a matter of fact, I'll try to launch the 2.3 emulator and we'll see if it works. Right, so I've started a 2.33 emulator. Now we're gonna try to run this app again. Oh crap, sorry, fat fingers. Run as Android application, and now it allows us to select this one also. If you don't get this menu, for example, if it just starts launching automatically to one of these, that means you can go right click, run as, then run configuration, and then target, and then always prompt to pick device. You need to select that and it will always prompt you. Right, so this is my 2.3 emulator. Watch this again. I should install, and hopefully the Sherlock action bar will still display on 2.3. So this is what the Sherlock action bar Sherlock is all about. About making the action bar backward compatible and also pretty easy to implement. So you see, we still get the action bar. We still get all our things in the app. You get the limited keyboard because we selected it for decimals only. That's why we're getting this keyboard. And sometimes I get it in Japanese. I don't know why. You can change the keyboard. Just press and click and press in your text field here and input method. Android keyboard. I don't know why it comes in Japanese sometimes, but there you go. Right, so that's that. Uh, we got our look pretty much how we want it. Next tutorial, we're gonna go out on the internet, fetch the data, so and all the problems and challenges that come with that. Oh, thank you. So I'm gonna do these quickly. I'm basically gonna record all of them in just like 1 or 2 days, and gonna release them over the next 2-3 days. So You don't have to wait because it's basically one tutorial. I just want to break it down because I know people don't like long videos on YouTube. Okay, take care. Subscribe. See you.